Welcome to Fantasy Audiobook, Plunder Countless Talents, I Became a God. Chapter 71. The two battle avatars heard the call and immediately returned to defense, killing the Zerg around him and retreating one after another. The three of them quickly moved away from the sea of insects, smashed the glass, and arrived at a shopping mall across the street. Lin Luo followed his memory and quickly came to the second floor of this shopping mall. There's a copy right there. He dove in instantly. All 8 attribute points are agile. Point all 4 skill points into 10,000 swords Chaozong. The effect of 10,000 swords Chaozong at the first level is, when the Flying Wind Sword Gang is superimposed to more than 50 levels, 3 Flying Wind Sword Gang will be automatically derived every second, and the sword energy that is shot out will be non-destructive. Summon back. And when this skill is upgraded to level 5, the effect becomes, when the Flying Wind Sword Gang is superimposed to more than 46 layers, 7 Flying Wind Sword Gang will be automatically derived every second, and the flying sword can be call back without damage. After the upgrade of 10,000 swords Chaozong, not only the activation requirements have been reduced a lot, but more Flying Wind Sword Gang can be automatically derived every second. The most important thing is that this skill can be used without damage when the sword energy leaves the body. Moreover, the derived Blast Sword Gang does not consume mana. Lin Luo quickly broke out of the dungeon again, and he can now bring 67% of the attribute power in the dungeon back to reality. 10,000 swords Chaozong can be activated, and the mana cost has been greatly reduced. It's time to fight to the death with the sea of insects. Come on, let's hunt this Void King insect together. Tell it who this Hangcheng listens to. Hello everyone, I am our reporter Yao Muxi. I am on the front line to bring you the latest reports. We can now see that the city of Hangzhou below the helicopter has been completely submerged in white fog, with only a few buildings sticking out. Yao Muxi is indeed the second internet celebrity reporter after Wang Bingbing. Not only does she have an outstanding image, but her hosting skills are also very professional. Although there is no signal in the whole city now, the disaster will pass one day, and she wants to truthfully record this precious image. Wang Xiaozhong held up the camera, his face changed slightly, and he pointed a finger at a certain location in the sea of clouds below. Yao Muxi also reacted quickly and looked over immediately. Dear viewers, we can see that a huge monster appears in the sea of clouds. Let's zoom in closer. The helicopter immediately moved over there in the air. I saw that the originally peaceful sea of white mist suddenly began to churn continuously, and a gray monster of unimaginable size was constantly rioting in it. Chi-chi, chi-chi, chi-chi. The piercing chirping of insects became increasingly clear as they approached. Yao Muxi frowned slightly, and said with a hint of uncertainty in her tone, "This monster seems to be screaming." This. When she looked carefully at the monster's broad back, her pupils suddenly shrank, and she exclaimed in disbelief, "Wait. There seems to be someone on the monster's back." Wanjian Chaozong. Kill. The Cyan Wind Sword Gang beside Lin Luo was densely packed like stars holding the moon, and seemed to be surrounded by a cyan storm. Any swarm of insects that came close would be strangled to pieces in an instant. As for why he chose to start the battle on the wide back of Void King insect, that's because when it's on the ground, they can only attack its feet. The target is too small and there are many Zerg blocking it, which is really inconvenient. But on the back of this Void King insect, you can safely deal with it. It was bullied that it was big and couldn't get rid of these 3 fleas. Not far away from him, the other 2 substitutes also began to show their prowess. Black Emperor's fists exploded, and the low-level garbage Zerg people they hid were separated from their horses. Each punch was followed by a burst of yellow-green blood mist and flesh. After Kagaya received sufficient energy supply, she turned on the Ray Knight sword mode without any scruples. Elegantly shuttled through the sea of insects, harvesting the lives of these ugly monsters with the most graceful posture. It is simply a contrasting picture of Beauty and the Beast. She was wearing a maid's short skirt, and her exposed long and flawless white jade legs were miraculously not stained by any green blood splashing everywhere. Your substitute Kagaya killed the level 3 giant locust and you gained 64 experience points, 800% experience value bonus. Your substitute Black Emperor killed the level 6 giant claw beetle and you gained 160 experience points, 800% experience value bonus. You killed the level 9 venomous horned jaw spider and you gained 640 experience points, 800% experience value bonus. In his ears was a series of reminders that kept ringing. 2 top combat avatars join him, which is equivalent to 3 times the efficiency of killing monsters. In addition, you can enjoy a 400% experience bonus for killing monsters in disasters, plus a 200% experience bonus provided by Wish. 100 Wars. This is simply a full 24 times upgrade efficiency. This allowed him to gain a huge amount of experience points even by swiping monsters that were lower than his own level. Come on, the louder the waves, the more expensive the fish will be. Someone is fighting this monster. And the monster seems to be screaming. For the first time in his career, Yao Muxi lost his composure in front of the camera. This is simply unbelievable. Although the world has now entered an era of job transfer for all people, we are only at a certain level and cannot completely bring our power back to reality. How could anyone possibly fight against such a monster as huge as a mountain? Not Ultraman. Go back and cut out this part of me later. Yao Muxi took a deep breath, quickly calmed down, and then motioned to the helicopter pilot to get closer. No way, if we get any closer, we'll be in trouble if this monster hits us. Put the distance a little higher. This shot is really important. I must capture this hero's heroic appearance. Let the whole city of Hangzhou, no, the whole of China, and even the people of the world witness his bravery. Yao Muxi pleaded. Wang Xiaozhong also immediately spoke up. Captain Li, this shot is really important to us. In the face of this disaster, the heroic deeds of this human hero can greatly boost our morale. Captain Li, who was in the cockpit, suddenly stopped talking. But the helicopter had quickly moved towards the monster. Wang Xiaozhong and Yao Muxi looked at each other, and the camera immediately followed them. Dear viewers, at this moment when the whole city is in crisis, we Chinese people have not surrendered. Look, there are people on the back of the monster fighting bloody battles with the monsters. Internet celebrity reporter, Yao Muxi. Let's cheer for him together. Okay, let's get closer to that side with the camera now. Oh my god, there are actually 3 people on the monster's back, fighting with a large number of Zerg, and there is actually a girl among them. Yao Muxi looked at the back of the big monster and the vast sea of insects, which were constantly encircling and attacking the 3 small people. She couldn't help but sweat for these 3 unfamiliar Chinese heroes. The situation on the battlefield does not look optimistic. Although the 3 people were trying their best to kill monsters, the sea of insects that filled the mountains and plains was endless. There were even more densely packed flying insects rising from the white mist, like a dark cloud, covering their heads. The helicopter had to stay away temporarily in order to avoid the passing Zerg. And soon, the dark cloud-like Zerg had cooperated with the Zerg army on the monster's back, completely swamping the tiny 3 people. Only the Zerg monsters are left in sight. When Yao Muxi saw this scene, her eyes couldn't help but moisten, and she couldn't help shouting, "Come on! Come on!" Wang Xiaozhong's heart was filled with excitement when he saw it, but now he saw that the sea of insects had completely submerged them, and he couldn't help but feel a sense of sadness in his heart. Captain Li in the cockpit naturally saw the scene here. What he saw was that his eyes were red and his teeth were clenched. He wanted to rush forward and fight these monsters immediately, so as to rescue the 3 Chinese heroes, but unfortunately this helicopter did not carry any weapons. But for the first time, he, an atheist, prayed in his heart to the gods and Buddhas in the sky, bless them from death. Come on. Lin Luo's situation at this time is not good, because Wanjian Chaozong has limits, and after all, he only inherited 67% of the attribute power in the copy. When an army of flying Zerg, densely packed like dark clouds, began to appear in the sky, he immediately decided to fight quickly and could not delay it any longer. Otherwise, it would be bad if the Zerg on the sky and the ground were besieged together and injured by the insects that slipped through the net. Lord of Prayer, come true with my wish. No Zerg can come within 1 meter of me. Lin Luo then suddenly took out the A-level, Violent Crystal. Now is no longer the time to hide it. Go on a complete rampage. Green Goblin, A-level, Frenzy Crystal, can increase all abilities of the avatar by 30% for 2 minutes. More than a dozen green tentacles rushed out from behind him in an instant, and together with the 10,000 Swords returning sect formed by the Blast Sword Gang, they strangled the Zerg tribe. Soon, Lin Luo was drowned by the Zerg-like dark clouds in the sky. The densely packed insects kept squirming, like a ball of black balls, and Lin Luo was completely invisible. Suddenly, a cold voice sounded through the sea of insects. Black Emperor, Kagaya Princess, come to me. The two stand-ins looked at each other, and in an instant, one violently opened the way with his fists, and the other with dazzling sword skills, forcefully fought his way back to Lin Luo's side, and entered the protective circle of Blast Sword Gang. Now, leave the Zerg alone. Attack this Void King insect with all your strength. Let it know whose territory this is. Lin Luo ordered calmly while blocking the siege of countless Zerg in the sky and below. They were tired of dealing with the besieging sea of insects, but they didn't have much time to attack the Void King insect under their feet. And now Lin Luo cooperates with the violent Green Goblin to stop all the Zerg alone, finally creating a perfect output environment for these two combat avatars. Without any hesitation, they took action immediately. Ola ola ola. Ola 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 ola. Black Emperor directly aimed at the back of Void King insect and punched wildly. Although many attacks did not trigger critical hits and caused no damage at all, the high enough attack speed made up for this shortcoming. Kagaya also gave up her elegant fighting style at this moment, half kneeling directly on the back of Void King insect and stabbed the body of Void King insect with a knife in quick succession in an instant. Immediately, the carapace on the back of the Void King insect was beaten with blood and flesh flying everywhere. Unfortunately, the thick green corrosive blood was about to splash out, but was directly isolated by the power generated by the Book of Wishes after making a wish. Chirp, chirp, chirp. The huge body of Void King insect began to tremble, and no matter how high its health value was, it couldn't withstand such crazy output. When its health dropped below 30%, it used the skill Roar of the King insect without hesitation. Chirp. A burst of invisible sound waves quickly spread out within a radius of 10,000 meters. At this moment, whether it is a resting Zerg, a Zerg eating, or a Zerg hunting and breeding, they all stopped what they were doing, turned around, and rushed towards the location of their king insect. Captain Lee, can we help them? Yao Muxi asked with red eyes. No, our helicopter does not carry any combat weapons. Why doesn't Captain Lee not want to help? But now he can't do anything. Yao Muxi, adjust your mood, you are still filming. We also want to help, but now we can only do what we can do ourselves. Don't forget, we also have our mission. We must bring back the deeds of these three unknown Chinese heroes completely. Yao Muxi choked and nodded. This place is hundreds of meters high in the sky, shrouded in white mist, and no one knows about the battle happening here except them. The unknown heroes are fighting bloody battles for this city in obscurity. Yao Muxi clenched her fists tightly. It was the only thing she could do for the three heroes now. Just faithfully record this real scene. She secretly vowed to wait until this disaster passed. She must let everyone know who is fighting behind the scenes, risking their lives for them in the darkest moment of despair when everyone is besieged. How can there be any quiet time? But someone is carrying the burden for them. Such a hero. It should be immortal. It should always be remembered by this city and all Chinese people. Ah, Lin Luo has completely gone crazy. He didn't have time to check how much health the Void King insect had left. He felt that his attacks were slowing down and his thinking was starting to become sluggish. Despite all the calculations, he still forgot one thing. That means his physical strength is limited. His sword began to inevitably slow down, and the surrounding Zerg suddenly got closer. As the Zerg continued to shrink their encirclement, the danger began to approach. The Lord of Wishes suddenly appeared automatically. He looked at Lin Luo, whose eyes were red, and actively activated the power of the Book of Wishes. He crooned softly, "Recover completely for my master immediately." As the power of the Book of Wishes was activated, Lin Luo, whose thinking had been somewhat sluggish, finally came to his senses again, and the number of quick-wind sword gang around him also increased again, forcing all the Zerg back. He realized that it was the Lord of Prayer who helped him out, and hurriedly thanked him. "Old Chi, I'm sorry to trouble you. Master, it is my duty to share your worries. Then I'll take my leave first. I wish you good luck in martial arts." The Lord of Prayer bowed respectfully, and then his body disappeared again. Lin Luo felt extremely energetic and clear at this moment. His eyes flashed with a cold chill. Void King insect. Let us continue. Let's see who of us can survive longer. Choo choo choo. A shrill scream resounded throughout the world, causing several people on the helicopter to cover their ears. Then 6 prompts sounded in their ears at the same time. Global announcement. Congratulations to player Black Emperor for becoming the first player in the world to kill the Wormhole Guardian. Reward a lucky draw ticket for 10 consecutive rounds of the Wheel of Fortune. Reward 10 Destiny Crystals. Close Black Lens bracket. Global announcement. Congratulations to player Black Emperor for becoming the first player in the world to kill the Wormhole Guardian. Reward a lucky draw ticket for 10 consecutive rounds of the Wheel of Fortune. Reward 10 Destiny Crystals. Look, viewers, after the monster let out a mournful cry, it sank into the white mist. Yao Muxi stared closely at the white mist area and waited for about a minute, but the monster still did not appear again. Is this monster injured? She suddenly thought of something, and a look of surprise appeared on her face. Wait a minute. Is there a Black Emperor among those Chinese heroes just now? Did they successfully kill this monster? The more Yao Muxi thought about it, the more it seemed possible. Otherwise, how could it be such a coincidence? Just when the monster screamed and disappeared, the global announcement sounded on this side. It's incredible. The Black Emperor is actually from Hangzhou, China. He is truly a legend. Not only has he won multiple global achievements in a row, he also personally took the risk to kill this terrifying monster. When this disaster passes, I must go and interview this legendary hero in person. Congratulations player, you have successfully killed the Wormhole Guardian, Void King Insect. Congratulations to the player, you have won 10 lottery ticket of the Wheel of Destiny. 10 Crystals of Destiny. Congratulations, player, you have gained 43,200,000 experience points. You will enjoy a 900% experience bonus for killing monsters above level 8, a 400% experience bonus for disasters, and a 200% experience bonus for wish. 100 battles, a total of 7,200% experience gained, addition. Congratulations player, your level has been upgraded to level 27. A series of good news rang in Lin Luo's ears. Crystal of Destiny is a good thing to use when forging equipment. It can be used no matter how much the equipment is added to. Unification can increase the forging efficiency of equipment by 50%. 10 Destiny Crystals are equivalent to 100% success in forging equipment 5 times. And if this kind of thing is put up for auction, it will definitely be worth more than 10 million. Still priceless. However, ordinary equipment is easily eliminated as the level increases. Generally, only the best equipment obtained after the level is high are suitable for forging to the limit. At this time, it is better to keep it first. Lin Luo felt the body of the Void King Insect under his feet suddenly sinking, and he couldn't help but immediately control the Blast Sword Gang beside him to support his body. Damn it, I finally killed this big guy. With the death of the Void King Insect, all the Zerg races suddenly panicked. Instead of besieging the enemies in the air, they suddenly dispersed and quickly disappeared into the white mist. The huge body of Void King Insect lost its support and fell heavily to the ground, directly crushing the shopping mall underneath it. And Lin Luo had already left quickly from the air under the protection of Blast Sword Gang. After this hard battle, his body was already covered with all kinds of disgusting insect bodily fluids, but with the power of the Book of Wishes he was completely clean when he returned to Wen Yuqi's home. Xiao Luo, are you okay? Wen Yuqi and her mother Li Junji came out of the house at the same time. Their home is not far from the Hangcheng Service Center. Naturally, they heard the screams of the Void King Insect just now and the rioting support of many insect swarms at home. Don't worry, Sister Wen, Aunt Li. There are no monsters in Hangzhou that can hurt me. Lin Luo smiled calmly. After having lunch with Wen Yuqi's family, Lin Luo chatted with them for a while, and then hurriedly embarked on the trip. In the afternoon, he had to rush to refresh the secret realm, Holy Land in the forest 24 hours later and refresh it again immediately. After a battle with the Void King Insect, there are not many God-given crystal shards left, and they are in urgent need of replenishment. Lin Luo walked on the foggy and deserted street. He randomly picked an Audi A4, summoned the Lord of Prayer, and ordered, "Open the car door for me, and then take me to Wulin Square." The Lord of Prayer immediately activated the Book of Wishes and realized his wish. Following Wish's gaze, the locked door of the Audi A4 popped open. Lin Luo didn't waste any time and immediately got into the back seat with Kagaya. The Lord of Prayer sat in the driver's seat and started the car without a key. As the car's engine started, the car quickly disappeared into the mist. When Ji Weiniang woke up from the nightmare, the young master was already lying around her. After massaging her dizzy head slightly, she walked over and took a look, but was shocked to find that they had been dead for a long time, and even the bodies had become completely cold. It's who killed them. Ji Weiniang couldn't help but exclaimed when she saw this scene. Master, I just let them indulge in the pink illusion. I didn't expect them to be so useless. They just fought a few more times and were completely useless. A seductive voice suddenly sounded behind her, and she hurriedly looked back. I saw a charming girl wearing a revealing cheongsam, with a bulging figure, horns on her head, and wings on her back. Ji Weiniang sensed a very close connection with this girl and suddenly realized, so you are my substitute. That's right, I am the succubus queen, born from the depths of your heart. I will appear when you are in danger. The girl smiled sweetly and was naturally charming. After Ji Weiniang understood, a bitter smile appeared on her face. They are all rich and powerful people. If you kill them directly like this, you will cause a big disaster. Queen Succubus flicked her slender fingers and said nonchalantly, Master. Don't be afraid, I am here. These ordinary people will surrender under your pomegranate skirt in the future. You can understand my abilities first. Ji Weiniang calmed down a little after hearing this. She hurriedly looked at the ability of Succubus Queen, and the more she looked at it, the more excited she became. Finally, she couldn't help shouting in surprise, Wulai Laundry, which means happy in Sakura country. Succubus Queen pushed open the heavy door of the factory, and thick white mist suddenly poured in. Nani? Ji Weiniang looked a little stupid when she looked at the invisible white mist. Is the smog on the outskirts of Hangzhou so severe even during the day? Succubus Queen glanced around, frowned slightly, and quickly pulled her master back to the factory. Master, it's dangerous outside. I suggest you wait inside until the smog subsides before going out. Ji Weiniang had no choice but to return to the factory. Fortunately, those gentlemen left a lot of snacks and drinks, so there was no need to worry about starvation for the time being. She dug out the young men's cell phones again, but was dumbfounded. Why is there no signal? Isn't this place too remote? The Lord of Prayer drove for about an hour and finally arrived at the destination. After Lin Luo and Kagaya got out of the car, they looked at the abandoned factory with the iron gate locked, and couldn't help but frown slightly. How could a woman appear in such an abandoned factory? Forget it, it's useless to think about it. Just do it and open the door. Kagaya immediately cut off the chain of the door with a knife, and then Black Emperor emerged and slowly pushed open the two heavy iron doors. It doesn't look like an abandoned factory when you enter, but it feels like a renovated bar. Lin Luo glanced casually and discovered that there were several headlights and cameras in the spacious area on the right, as if they were filming a movie. He and the two stand-ins walked over and took a look, and their expressions suddenly changed. I saw a few men lying on the ground in a mess. They had completely lost all signs of life. However, the expressions on their faces were not painful. Instead, they had weird and lewd smiles on their faces. It was impossible to tell what happened before they died. A premonition of crisis flashed through Lin Luo's heart, and he shouted in a low voice, I will not be harmed in the next 30 seconds. As soon as he finished speaking, he felt the scene in front of him change. At some point, he actually appeared in the hall of a retro palace. Just when Lin Luo was confused, two familiar voices rang. Xiao Luo, is everyone waiting for you? Master, don't be in a daze. He looked back and saw Wen Yuqi and Kagaya wearing dreamy wedding dresses, smiling and calling him over. After Lin Luo was in a daze, he looked down at the suit he was wearing and said suddenly, It turns out today is my wedding day. The scene in front of him changed again, and he had come to a pink room. There is a big red word, happy, on the wall above the bed. An ambiguous atmosphere came over me. Xiao Luo. Owner. As the door opened in the room, two familiar female voices sounded. Lin Luo looked back. It was Wen Yuqi and Kagaya Princess who walked in, but their outfits were obviously different from usual. They wore sexy dresses, looking cool and ambiguous. The expressions on their faces were also different from usual, with a coquettish look and a blush on their faces, making them look like ripe fruits ready for picking. Why are you here? Lim Luo felt an uncontrollable surge of restless emotions. Just as he was slightly in a trance, the two girls Wen Yuqi and Kagaya had already moved slightly and came to him. Accompanied by the seductive fragrance, two pairs of bare hands gently placed on his body. Whispered softly in his ear. Husband, you are tired today. Master, Kagaya, can I help you relax? Beautiful scenery on a good day, flowers and candles in the bridal chamber. A moment of spring night is worth 1,000 gold. Hu ho. Succubus Queen retreated 20 meters away from Lim Luo in a cold sweat. And Kagaya and Lord of Prayer were looking at her coldly. Kagaya, threatened with a cold face, quickly release the control on my master. Succubus Queen finally breathed a sigh of relief after realizing that they could not attack her. She almost died under the knife of this little girl just now. She covered her lips with her sleeves and laughed softly. The distance between you and the host has reached its limit, right? Are you still threatening me? Is there anything you can do to me now? It's ridiculous. Kagaya gritted her teeth, turned around and asked, didn't the master just make a wish not to be harmed? Why is the master unconscious now? The Lord of Wishes glanced at Lin Luo lying on the ground, and turned over the Book of Wishes in his hand with some confusion. It's strange. The wish has been fulfilled, why is the master still being attacked? Queen Succubus sneered, attack. I didn't attack your host, but I was helping him. Who doesn't want to have an erotic dream? Your host is currently enjoying himself in the paradise world. Lord of Wishes showed a sudden smile on his face. Thank you for your explanation. Book of Wishes, now let the master release this state. Succubus Queen couldn't help but change his face when he heard this, and a bad premonition emerged from the bottom of his heart. Lim Luo always felt in his heart that all this was abnormal. But for some reason, his reason was quickly being swallowed up by desire. Lim Luo looked at the two women beside him. One was a goddess he admired, and the other was a beautiful young girl, with an intoxicating smile on his face. He stretched out his hands to hug the two women into his arms and called softly. Sister Wen, I finally. Lim Luo was about to sink into the gentle countryside, when the beautiful scenery in front of him suddenly faded and disappeared, and what came into view was the interior of an abandoned factory. Quote question mark question mark question mark quote. Where is this? He got up from the ground with a confused look on his face. Master, you finally woke up. Fortunately, the Lord of Prayer rescued you. Kagaya's worry was clearly written on her pretty face, and she finally breathed a sigh of relief. Quote question mark question mark question mark quote. Where is this? He got up from the ground with a confused look on his face. Master, you finally woke up. Fortunately, the Lord of Prayer rescued you. Kagaya's worry was clearly written on her pretty face, and she finally breathed a sigh of relief. Master, you are back. The Lord of Prayer smiled and helped him up from the ground. IXXXUXX, can't you be 2 minutes late? Lim Luo greeted the Lord of Prayer in his heart for a moment, and then forced a smile on his face and said, Old Chi. I'm really troubling you again. Lord of Prayer, although he felt that his master's expression was a bit strange, he didn't think much about it and replied respectfully, Master. This is how it should be. How is it possible? This is impossible. How could my pink illusion be eliminated so easily? Suddenly a sweet cry sounded. Lim Luo immediately looked towards the bar and saw a Cheongsam girl with horns on her head and wings on her back, looking at them in disbelief. Substitute. He understood in an instant that the reason why he fell into the illusion just now was because of the substitute in the form of a girl in front of him. Needless to say, Black Emperor appeared instantly and punched her into countless pink pieces of light. As the Succubus Queen was killed, a strange yet familiar cry of pain came from behind the bar counter. No, no, please. Black Emperor heard the sound and instantly caught the woman hiding behind the bar counter. Don't kill me. I didn't mean to hurt you. The woman begged with a look of fear on her face. It's just that her voice doesn't seem to be standard in Mandarin. What she shouted just now seems to be the language of Sakura country. When Lin Luo took a closer look, this beautiful woman's face seemed familiar, which made him a little confused. Are you Ji Weiniang? Ji Weiniang was slightly surprised, as if wondering how this person knew her name. Could he be her fan? She nodded hurriedly and said, I'm Ji Weiniang. Lin Luo recalled the illusion he had just entered and glanced at the bodies of men lying on the ground. His voice became colder and he asked, did you kill them all? Ji Weiniang burst into tears when she heard this, showing a heart-wrenching expression. No, they tricked me here and forced me to film with me. I didn't hurt them. I really don't know anything. Have no idea. Filming. A series of details flashed through Lin Luo's mind like lightning. First of all, this girl knows the language of Sakura country, then she is not fluent in Mandarin, plus filming, and finally her appearance. At this moment, a series of details are completely connected together. Lin Luo was shocked. Are you teacher Shengxia Yaya? Ji Weiniang hesitated for a moment, then nodded. Here, with the clothes, he's still a little unrecognizable. Lin Luo never expected that when he came out to plunder his talents, he would meet a famous teacher who was living in China. He also understood now that most of the men wanted to do bad things, but were killed instead. Can you help me? I really didn't kill them, they insulted me. It has to be said that Ji Weiniang is indeed a star in the industry. When she begged, few men could refuse her. Women in the Sakura kingdom generally admire the strong. The man in front of her is not only young and handsome, but also powerful. He is not afraid of the succubus queen and has a vague domineering temperament. He is simply her ideal type. Seeing that the other party was unmoved, Ji Weiniang couldn't help biting her lips and said softly, as long as you take me away, I can do whatever you want me to do, and I can be your girlfriend. Lin Luo had naturally read the study materials. He never expected that one day, the scenes in the study materials would be played out in front of him. Looking at her watery eyes makes people feel pitiful. The more you look at it, the more excited you become. Images from the study materials appeared in his mind again. An impulse suddenly surged into Lin Luo's heart. How about letting her go? Let her become his forbidden wife. Just when he was hesitating, he suddenly heard the scolding voice of the Lord of Prayer ringing in his ears. Bold witch, you dare to use this method on my master. Do you think I don't exist? Book of Wishes dispel the charm. It is activated with the ability of Book of Wishes. Lin Luo's consciousness suddenly became clear, and he reacted immediately. The abnormal thought just now was that the other party used an unknown talent on him. Thinking of this, he couldn't help but snorted. Be my girlfriend, you think so? Ji Weiniang didn't expect that her S-level talent, Fatal Temptation, would have no effect, and she couldn't help but be slightly stunned. And at this moment when she was lost in thought, a bright sword light flashed across her eyes. Now that Lin Luo kills people, he is too lazy to talk to others anymore. Confirm your identity and kill him directly. If you succeed as a king or lose as a bandit, I will kill you. It has nothing to do with you. The abandoned factory door opens again. Just as Bai Wu couldn't wait to rush up, he was pushed away 10 meters away by a gentle force. Lin Luo looked at Kagaya, who was following him, and joked, do you know that after your attack, there is one less famous teacher on this blue star? Kagaya obviously didn't understand the meaning of these words, so she tilted her head and said, Master. Is she a teacher? Ha ha ha, that's right. Now the Sakura kingdom is destroyed. Teachers are considered a non-renewable resource. If those otakus find out about this, they will have to read the out-of-print study material several times with tears in their eyes. Okay, let me take a look at the newly acquired talent first. Lin Luo stretched out his hand to summon the game interface, which immediately displayed his newly acquired talent. Open black lens bracket fatal attraction close black lens bracket. Grade S. Effect. After activating it on a person of the opposite sex, your charm in the eyes of the other person will immediately increase tenfold, and the other person will be unable to help but fall in love with you. The stronger the other person's willpower, the slower the love will develop. Duration: 1 hour. Cooling time: 1 day. No wonder. After Lin Luo read this talent, he understood why he had hesitated to plunder Ji Weiniang just now. It turns out that I got this Fatal Temptation innate ability. This talent is pretty good. It can temporarily distort people's minds. The only limitation is that it can only be used on the opposite gender. He clapped his hands gently. Okay, next is the new substitute, Succubus Queen. Come out. With Lin Luo's call, a little black-haired Lolita wearing a black and white dress appeared next to him. This image is far different in terms of temptation than Ji Wanying's vixen-like stand-in just now. Lin Luo didn't know whether to be happy or disappointed for a moment. After all, it would be really difficult for an ordinary man to control a vixen-like stand-in who follows him around every day. Master, you seem a little disappointed. The newly appeared substitute little Loli had a cunning look in her eyes, as if she could see through Lin Luo's mind. Then in his shocked eyes, her twin ponytails suddenly spread out and turned into long purple hair. Then her young body quickly became taller, and the little white rabbit also evolved into a big white rabbit. Loli's face grew instantly, becoming mature and charming, and her temperament changed from quirky to noble and seductive, as if she was a queen who fell into the world of mortals. It's like a girl's transformation, from a Lolita to a royal sister overnight. After the succubus queen transformed, she looked at her master with watery peach blossom eyes, placed a jade finger gently on her red lips, and said with charming eyes, "Master, you seem to like this slave family better. What's the form?" Lin Luo's expression was slightly stunned when he was asked, and he felt his heartbeat speeding up in an unsatisfactory moment. Succubus queen noticed her master's embarrassment, covered her mouth and smiled softly, shrank in size again, and returned to her Lolita form. "Master, you are so cute when you are shy." Cough, cough. Lin Luo pretended to cough twice and said seriously, "Succubus queen, you should stay in this form." "Okay, master, I understand." The succubus queen in the form of a little Loli giggled. Lin Luo nodded and turned to the attribute panel of succubus queen. Stand in. Succubus queen. Level. S level. Strength. 60-10 for normal people. Agility. 60. Intelligence. 60. Defense. 30. HP. 2000. Energy. 200. Energy recovery rate. 1 point every 10 minutes. Growth. 80. Action distance. 50 meters. Dual form. 1. Loli form does not require energy consumption. 2. The queen's queen form increases the charm of the opposite sex by 5 times and consumes 1 point of energy per hour. Open black lens bracket pink fantasy close black lens bracket. Instantly pull a living being's consciousness into a blissful illusion. When a creature encounters pain, it will wake up from the illusion. Consumption. The rate of energy consumption depends on the strength of the creature. Cooling. 1 day. In order to prevent people from forgetting that there are too many substitutes and talents, every time you get a new substitute, you can check the abilities of the previous substitute in the comment area. Succubus Queen is indeed not a fighting type substitute. After Lin Luo read it, he had an expected expression on his face. Succubus Queen's 6 attributes of strength, agility, intelligence, defense, health, and growth are not high, and only the energy attribute is full. He has seen more avatars now. Combining the theoretical knowledge from his previous life, he thought for a moment and concluded, other avatars have no cooldown abilities, but Pink Fantasy has a cooldown time. As expected, the control ability is still strong. If there is no cooling time, it would be infinitely controllable. No matter how strong the enemy is without bringing out the power in the copy, it is still very fragile in reality. As long as it is controlled, it is only a matter of one blow. Well, today's harvest is generally good, and it's not too early. It's time to call it a day. Guys, let's go home and sleep. Master, do you want to sleep with me? I can transform. Master, Kagaya also wants to sleep with you. Dama, Master, your family will be sad if you act like this. Master, do you hate Kagaya? Da. After killing Ji Wanying, Lin Luo, Kagaya and Succubus Queen got into the Lord of Prayer's car again. 2 beauties, one big and one small, sandwiched him in the middle, making him feel pain and happiness. They say 3 women make one drama. Kagaya seems to have found a companion, chatting all the way with Succubus Queen. On the way home to sleep, Lin Luo made a wish to predict Guo Dao's location in advance. After plundering those 2 people tomorrow, he would be ready to go to the inspectorate's prison to explore the situation. This is a very ordinary-looking diary. Lines of text are constantly appearing on it. My name is Guo Dao. When you read this sentence, I am already dead. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket November 15, 2025. The morning of the 3rd day of the white fog closing the city. Close black lens bracket. I am in the room calculating how to distribute the remaining rations. Close black lens bracket. A strange man broke into my home with a beautiful girl wearing a maid uniform. Close black lens bracket. After confirming that I was Guo Dao, the beautiful girl killed me with a knife in an instant without saying a word. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. I don't want to die. I must change the outcome of this death. Close black lens bracket. Time goes back to November 13, 2025, the morning after the National Awakening. The day before, Guo Dao awakened the precious S-level talent, Simulated Future, and obtained a substitute future diary. Although this talent was of a very high level, and as far as he knew, it was one of a kind, but its ability was a bit useless to use. His talent can be used to deduce the future in future diary by consuming energy. However, after Guo Dao tried to deduce several times, he only calculated that there would be a white fog closing the city tonight, and there would be monsters everywhere outside. He is quite confident in his abilities, and the official notification from China also corroborates his prediction. He also thought about whether to notify the Chinese officials, but in the end he thought it was better to forget it. Maybe the government already knew everything in advance and had made arrangements, so wouldn't he be unnecessary? However, except after calculating this future, he soon discovered to his dismay. This talent and substitute can hardly improve his combat effectiveness. Apart from being able to deduce in advance what can be obtained by refreshing the dungeon, it is of no use. The first day of National Awakening. When several of his friends heard that he had awakened his S-level talent, they were very excited at first and excitedly begged him to form a team to clear the dungeon. As a result, after 2 brushes, they discovered that his S-level talent was really weak but not as useful as other people's F-level combat talents. The next day, his friends no longer invited him to play dungeons. Damn it, is my substitute so weak? How about trying to deduce a further future? Let's try to deduce to the day after tomorrow. Guo Dao punched his stand-in future diary hard, then gritted his teeth and activated his talent again. Then he saw a line of diary that made him break out in a cold sweat. In black and white, it clearly states that he will be killed by 2 strangers in his room on the morning of November 15, 2025. How is it possible? I will die. Really or not? Why do you want to kill me? This is China, a society ruled by law, not a beautiful country. Future diary, did you make a mistake? It's a pity that his substitute can't speak, and only has a few lines of text, faithfully recording a certain fact in the future. Guo Dao said angrily, Simulated Future. Deduce the day after tomorrow for me. As his innate ability was activated again, the handwriting on the future diary appeared one by one again, but this time there were very few handwritings. Open black lens bracket. My name is Guo Dao. I died yesterday. Close black lens bracket. Cold sweat appeared on his forehead crazily, and he shouted in disbelief, Simulated Future. Deduce the day after tomorrow for me. Open black lens bracket. My name is Guo Dao. I died the day before yesterday. Close black lens bracket. As the energy of the substitute future diary continues to disappear, only a brief line of words still appears. Impossible. How could I die so inexplicably? Guo Dao really didn't believe it. How could he die so mysteriously? No, now that I know the future of death, I can change this future. Simulated Future. Continue to deduce the day after tomorrow. Find me a way to survive. Future diary cannot speak, but lines of text begin to appear faithfully again. After predicting this incident in advance, when they broke into my room, I denied that my name was Guo Dao. But after a brief hesitation, the man still let the hateful witch kill me. Close black lens bracket. When Guo Dao saw the results of this simulation, he almost couldn't help but tear up his stand-in future diary. Damn it, I don't believe it. Simulated Future. Let me continue to deduce it. After a brief pause, the words on future diary continued to emerge. This time, what appears above is much more detailed. Who are these 2 people? Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. Why do you want to kill me? Close black lens bracket. After predicting this incident in advance. Close black lens bracket. I fell into great fear and despair. Close black lens bracket. But there are still 2 days left, I still have a chance. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. I have to calm down. Close black lens bracket. I started to reminisce, and I was certain that I definitely didn't know these two people. Close black lens bracket. Why do they want to kill me? Close black lens bracket. How did they know my home? Close black lens bracket. Aren't they afraid of the inspectorate? Close black lens bracket. I asked myself that I have never provoked anyone, nor have I ever violently assaulted anyone online. There is no possibility of being killed by someone following the internet cable. I have never scolded anyone even while playing games. Open black lens bracket number. There is no point in reflecting on yourself now. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket when the next day comes again. They broke into my room again, I resisted with a kitchen knife, and I died. Close black lens bracket. Die again. If you resist, you will die. If you don't resist, you will die. Guo Dao was speechless at the result. He took a breath and immediately activated his innate ability again. After all, his simulated future has no cooling time, otherwise he would have to be suffocated to death. When I predicted all this again, I understood that there was no point in resisting. That beauty was actually a stand-in, and she was completely different from my good-for-nothing stand-in. Close black lens bracket. Not only is she beautiful, her fighting ability is also so terrifying. Why is God so unfair? Why is my stand-in so rubbish? Close black lens bracket. Did he awaken a stronger SS level talent than me? Or is it an SSS level talent? Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. No. There is no point in complaining to God now. Close black lens bracket. I want to survive, I don't want to die, I want to leave. Leave before the white fog seals the city. Close black lens bracket. When I came to the city next door, Magic City, I found a hotel to stay. The white mist is still coming. I understood that this white fog disaster not only affected Hangzhou, but also affected the Magic City. If according to the official announcement, it may even affect the entire China or the world. Close black lens bracket. There are scary monsters everywhere outside the white mist. He shouldn't be able to find me again, right? Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. Very good. At that critical moment in the future, I survived. But I don't have much money left. What should I do with the house I rented in Hangzhou? Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. Just when I am worried about the future. Doorbell rang. Close black lens bracket. I was a little confused, so I walked over and asked, "Who is it?" Close black lens bracket. The familiar demonic voice came from outside. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. Number. Impossible. How did he find me? I'm silent. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. I dare not speak anymore. I leaned behind the door and didn't even dare to breathe out. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. Pain. Close black lens bracket. Suddenly a sharp pain came from my heart. A long knife instantly poked out of my chest, and I was dead. Close black lens bracket. Although the result of this deduction was still death, the time of death was a little later than the previous times. Guo Dao could only cheer himself up in his heart. Come on. As long as I continue to deduce, I will definitely survive. As his talent, simulating the future, was activated again, lines of writing appeared in the diary again. He can track my location. Terrible. Going further afield. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. Number. Since I can predict it, I have to gather information first. Or try to beg for mercy. Close black lens bracket. This time I didn't run away. Instead, I opened the room to greet them when they came. Close black lens bracket. In their surprised expressions, I directly chose to kneel in front of them. Close black lens bracket. Then I cried and begged them not to kill me. Close black lens bracket. Then, I died. Close black lens bracket. It's hot. It's not okay to beg for mercy, right? Guo Dao slammed his fist on the diary and roared, "Continue the deduction." I don't believe it. Future diary also seems to feel the excitement of the host. Even the speed at which the words above appear has become faster. Open black lens bracket. No. I must at least understand to death. Close black lens bracket. I opened the door again and waited for them. Close black lens bracket. Then under their surprised expressions, I knelt down in front of them again, raised my hands to express surrender, and then I asked pleadingly, "If you want to kill me, at least let me die. I have no enmity with you, Why do you want to kill me? Close black lens bracket. I saw the man look at me strangely, then his eyes showed excitement, and he murmured in a low voice, it turned out to be a precognition talent, and then the knife flashed past, and I was dead. Close black lens bracket. Wo chow nima legebi. What kind of hatred or resentment is this? Are you sick? Guo Dao felt like he was going crazy. How could he encounter such a psychosis? He suddenly shouted in the room. Simulated future. Simulated future. Simulated future. The words on Future Diary appeared at a speed that was like seeing a bull on a red cloth, from appearing one by one to appearing line by line. Open black lens bracket. I hate it. Why did I finally awaken the S-level talent or prediction type, but ended up dying immediately? Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket. Correct. I suddenly reacted. I'm going to the inspectorate. I want to call the police. Close black lens bracket. You can definitely survive by looking for the police inspector. Close black lens bracket. I took a taxi directly to the inspectorate, but there was only one inspector on duty today, and there were a lot of people queuing behind, waiting anxiously. Close black lens bracket. I found out after I walked over and asked. It turns out that since the National Awakening, a large number of police inspectors have been assigned to maintain order at the gates of various dungeon secret realms. Close black lens bracket. And with the emergence of extraordinary abilities, various crimes and disputes suddenly increased. Close black lens bracket. When it was finally my turn, I immediately told the police inspector my story. But he said that this was beyond their scope and asked me to wait for him to inform his superiors. Close black lens bracket. I have been in the lobby of the inspectorate, and even at night, he still did not give the result. And the white mist started to appear on time. I felt cruel and decided that it would be better to hide here instead of being trapped at home. Close black lens bracket. I don't believe it, he dared to kill me in front of the inspector. Close black lens bracket. I spent the entire morning and afternoon feeling anxious. For the first time, I have lived to this moment. I survived. Close black lens bracket. At night, there was a lot of buzzing of insects outside. I was chatting boredly with the police inspector on duty, when suddenly the glass door of the inspection bureau lobby was smashed by a monster. Close black lens bracket. Then several terrifying monsters rushed in, and I hurriedly escaped to the second floor under the cover of the police inspector. Close black lens bracket. When I rushed to the second floor of the lobby of the inspectorate, the window was actually smashed by several green tentacles, and then these disgusting things clung to me. Close black lens bracket. I died on the third night. Close black lens bracket. Early the next morning, Lin Luo woke up from his simple rental house. He glanced out the narrow window and saw that it was still shrouded in white mist. It seems that there are far more than just wormhole guardians. He had breakfast after washing up. When he sensed Guo Dao's position in his mind again, he was slightly stunned. Why is he in the inspectorate? Forget it. Let's look at Lu Jianing's position. Lao Qi, let's do it. The slender figure of the Lord of Prayer immediately appeared behind him, and then directly activated the power of wishing. With the sight of desire, Lin Luo glanced out the window, and he felt that Lu Jianing's position was quite normal. Let's go. Work. Ha. Ha. Hiss. Lu Jianing was hiding in the corner of a community, surrounded by white mist. He was not gasping for breath because of excessive physical exertion, but grimacing in pain from the ragged wounds all over his body. Damn it, what kind of talent did I awaken? It's still SS level, but it requires me to be injured and in danger before I can activate it. It hurts me to death. Lu Jianing wiped the cold sweat from his forehead, thinking that he should go to the drugstore to buy some medicine first. Otherwise, if he continues like this, although his level will be improved very quickly, he will die of pain sooner or later. And when he was bitten by those bugs, some parts of his skin turned purple, obviously toxins had entered his body. However, he looked at the white mist in front of him and hesitated again. The monster that suddenly appeared in the fog was really scary. If he hadn't been able to summon a substitute after being attacked and kill him quickly, he would have hid at home. Lu Jianing's education is not high and he only has a junior high school education. He dropped out of school early and came to Hangzhou to work. One year when he was returning home for the Chinese New Year, the widow Zhang from the same village asked him to take care of her daughter son Zhao Hong, who was studying in college in Hangzhou. After the two returned to Hangzhou, they walked around more, attracted each other, and naturally came together. Sun Zhaohong failed the exam after graduating from college, but she was unwilling to give up and wanted to continue taking the exam. Lu Jianing was naturally supportive, so Sun Zhaohong continued to study hard at home to prepare for the exam, while he went out to work to support her. 2 years later, when Sun Zhaohong finally passed the examination and landed successfully, she decided to break up with him. Lu Jianing never expected that such a gentle and sweet girl would do such a thing. The first sword coming ashore is to kill your sweetheart first. This online joke actually happened to him. On the day Sun Zhaohong moved out of their rental house, Lu Jianing completely collapsed. After 2 months of frustration, the era of national awakening has begun. After awakening his SS-level talent, he finally got back on his feet. He relied on his desperate will to fight fearlessly in the dungeon and earned tens of thousands in one day. Lu Jianing vowed that he would make Sun Zhaohong regret breaking up with him. 30 years to Hedong, 30 years to Hexi. Don't bully young people into being poor. After Bai Wu sealed the city, Lu Jianing was also sealed at home. But he was not afraid of the monsters outside. After eating the food, he immediately killed them. Unfortunately, he forgot one thing. That is, no matter how injured you were in the dungeon, you can recover after clearing the level, but being injured in reality is a lot more troublesome. The blood recovery potion in the dungeon cannot be obtained in reality without space crystal. What should I do? There is still a long way to go from the nearest pharmacy. I don't know how many monsters I will encounter along the way. Lu Jianing leaned in this corner and began to think. In the dungeon, all I have to do is rush forward and the monsters hit me, and my stand-in will come out and kill them instantly. It only hurts a little and the rest is nothing. But in reality, I can't bear to suffer so many injuries. I've already got the food, why don't we go home first and wait for this fog to dissipate? He finally decided to evacuate first, as the current injuries on his body were not fatal. Just when Lu Jianing walked through the fog and was about to walk back to the community, suddenly, a blur appeared before his eyes, and he appeared directly in his rental house. And lying on the bed was his ex-girlfriend Sun Zhaohong. This heartless woman who had already broken off with him was now wearing a JK short skirt that she rarely wore, looking at him lovingly. Brother Jianing, can you forgive me? Zhaohong, why are you here? Lu Jianing felt that his mind could not turn around. Could it be that she knows that she has become rich and is looking for herself again? No, a good horse never looks back. He is not a bitch, he is a man with integrity. Sun Zhaohong seemed to notice his hesitation, and slowly got up from the bed. Then he came over gently, held his hand gently, and pulled him towards the bed. Lu Jianing had never seen Zhaohong dressed up so exquisitely, and her head was a little confused for a while. He gasped and was pulled over. Xiao Mei, your pink fantasy is really powerful. He just lay on the ground. Giggle, thank you master for the compliment. Lu Jianing closed his eyes and lay down on the ground. In the white mist in front of him, 4 figures suddenly appeared. Kagaya, do it. As this cold male voice sounded, a blade of light suddenly lit up in the mist, and it stabbed Lu Jianing's neck gently and elegantly. Just when Kagaya's knife was less than a centimeter away from his neck, a sense of crisis instantly rose from the bottom of Lin Luo's heart. A blue arm appeared from the void and grabbed Kagaya's sword in an instant. Countless ice crystals instantly froze Kagaya's sword and spread crazily towards the handle. Then the temperature in the surrounding air began to drop crazily. Lin Luo immediately roared out. Book of Wishes. Damage erased. Black Emperor. Green Goblin. Go help. The cold ice crystals, just as they were about to spread to Kagaya's hilt, suddenly stopped and began to fade away quickly. And the form of the substitute finally appeared in front of a few people. He was wearing smooth blue armor, with a smooth mask on his face that only exposed his eyes. His hands were empty, but circles of ice crystal wheels were condensing and forming crazily in the air around him. He grabbed Kagaya's knife, then pushed her back forcefully, and then suddenly opened his hands and fingers, and an ice wall instantly blocked the way of Black Emperor and Green Goblin. Then the substitute, who was taller and burlier than the Black Emperor, suddenly let out a majestic voice. I am the Arctic Destroyer. Anyone who dares to challenge my majesty will be punished. Frost-covered cold sky. Black Emperor. After smashing the ice wall with a few punches, he was about to rush forward, but suddenly felt his figure freeze, and countless ice chains appeared from the void, locking him tightly. The dozen tentacles of Green Goblin were also firmly grasped. The Kagaya, who was pushed back, had time to react because of the distance, and she instantly drew her sword and cut off the ice chains that came towards her one by one. Another SS level or above talent. It can also automatically protect the master. That's great. I'm going to order this talent of yours. When Lin Luo saw this thrilling scene, not only was he not worried, but he was very excited. This Arctic destroyer wearing blue armor and at least SS level is really powerful. One person just stopped 3 of his substitutes, but so what? The stronger the ability, the faster the energy is consumed. How long can he last this kind of explosion? When it comes to fighting each other for energy, he has a lot of God-given crystal fragments and several substitutes, so he is not afraid at all. But relying on exhaustion of Arctic Destroyer is really hopeless and not Lin Luo's style. He snorted and said coldly, "Today, I will not only challenge you, but I will also chop you up." Black Emperor, Green Goblin, come back. The 2 substitutes broke out instantly. After breaking free from the frost chains, they did not continue to attack, but quickly retreated to Lin Luo's side. Arctic Destroyer watched him summon his substitute, but did not immediately choose to pursue him. Because he had very little energy left in these 2 days of fighting. The opponent's several substitutes are obviously not easy to deal with. Now the only way is to guard his host first and to cope with the changes by staying the same. "What, don't you have the courage to attack me?" Arctic Destroyer spoke with pretense of disdain, wanting to anger Lin Luo and induce him to make a mistake. There was a sinister look in his eyes behind the mask. As long as he catches the flaw and kills him, the human host, instantly, no matter how powerful the substitutes are, there is no point. "Don't have the courage to attack you." Lin Luo was slightly stunned. He didn't expect the substitute to speak, which was quite interesting. The corners of his mouth curved up, and an excited smile flashed across his face. "Are you kidding me? I have 100 ways to defeat you. I'm just wondering which method would be more satisfying to defeat you." There was a trace of imperceptible surprise in the extremely cold destroyer's eyes. This human boy's arrogance really amused him. He stretched out a finger, shook it in the air, and said disdainfully, "It's just you. You still want to defeat me? Haha, I see you don't believe it. Okay, I just want to try this new move." Lin Luo laughed, stretched out his hand and clenched his fist in the air. "Don't worry, I won't bully you as you are alone. But your level is at least SS level or above, and my substitute is only S level after all. It's not fair to fight you one-on-one. So, Black Emperor, Keizuki Princess, give me the fusion." Lin Luo's S-level talent, Perfect Fusion, suddenly activated. The Black Emperor, who was wearing metal armor, instantly turned into a huge black ball of light, and then flashed directly, wrapping up Kagutsuki Haim, who was wearing a short-made skirt. Wait until the black light group dissipates. A beautiful girl wearing jet black metal armor appeared. At the same time, a new properties panel has also appeared. Stand, Kagaya, Black Emperor form. Level, S++ level. Strength, 310 for normal people. Agility, 350. Intelligence, 40. Defense, 70. HP, 4000. Energy, 230/230ths. Energy recovery rate, 1 point every half hour. Growing up. Action distance, 30 meters. Plundering blade. Active state. Every time it attacks an enemy and causes damage, it will randomly take away 3/10 of the opponent's attributes or abilities. Consumption, 7 energy. Cooldown, no cooldown time. Passive state. The attack carries 250 points of true damage and consumes 2 points of energy every second. Black Emperor Armor passive provides 6,000 points of armor that can withstand any damage. Unbinding. When Black Emperor armor is shattered, all negative conditions on the body will be removed, and agility will be increased by 60 points. Wish. 100 battles. The hit rate and critical hit rate are increased by 20%, and the experience gained from killing monsters is doubled. Arctic Destroyer, seeing this new black armored girl, he couldn't help but immediately became vigilant. Originally, their two substitutes were no match for him even if combined, but now they were fused together by unknown means. In his induction, there was already enough power to threaten him. The sword in Kagaya's hand has been dyed with a dark color, and a powerful force has been injected into it. Although her sword lost the ability to transform into a defensive umbrella form, the damage was even more terrifying. Each attack can cause 250 points of true damage, plus 350 points of agility, making him the king of assassins. And with the Black Emperor armor, she is not squishy at all. Not good. Extreme Cold Halo. Arctic Destroyer's reaction was equally sharp. Almost the moment Kagaya's feet moved slightly, he had already released his skills. A blue halo spread out in all directions instantly. But Kagaya's sudden burst of speed is really terrifying. How fast is 350's agility? In the extreme state, it can move 245 meters in 1 second. You must know that the highest moving speed of a cheetah is only 16 meters per second. Kagaya's burst speed is now 15 times that of the cheetah. This kind of explosion cannot be caught by the naked eyes of ordinary people. Arctic Aura, although it has the ability to reduce the enemy's movement speed, the distance between the two avatars is too close and there is no time to reduce it much. In the next blink of an eye of Arctic Destroyer, Frowdy Blade had already struck the blue armor on his body. In an instant, a deep crack was left on it, and the cold air on Arctic Destroyer was about to freeze Blade of Fury. The Blade of Fury in Kagaya's hand was instantly separated from his armor, and then another slash cut a crack into his armor. The speed of the cold freezing weapon cannot keep up with the attack speed of Raven Blade. Damn it! Frozen Nova. The extremely cold destroyer became angry, and the cold air on his body suddenly erupted. Countless icicles erupted from his armor, extending in all directions. He seemed to have turned into a huge hedgehog in an instant. However, Kagaya did not flinch, and actually launched an attack with countless ice spikes. The violent sword light was like 100 flowers blooming, and countless ice thorns were cut off instantly before they could grow out. The burst speed of Frozen Nova is actually not comparable to the attack speed of Kagaya. Arctic Destroyer, at this moment, a trace of fear inevitably arose in his heart. He no longer cared about saving energy, opened his hands, and the raging cold wave broke out again. Everything freezes. Eternal Ice Coffin. Kagaya sensed that the cold wave in the air began to surge, and she instantly changed shape and left the place. And where she disappeared, a huge ice coffin appeared the next moment. If she leaves any later, she will be completely frozen inside. When Kagaya came behind Arctic Destroyer, the ice spikes here were not cut off and were extremely dense. Just as she was about to take action, icy rain began to fall in the white mist. Drops of ice rain fell on Kagaya's Black Emperor armor, and began to spread continuously, causing a lot of frostbite, but she just frowned slightly and continued to attack. Arctic Destroyer felt that none of his skills could prevent the other party from approaching, and he couldn't help but roared, "Aren't you afraid of pain? Don't come over here." He really couldn't figure out why this fragile-looking girl could withstand his freezing frost rain and launch an attack. Is it necessary to fight so hard? When the sharp sword light fell on the Arctic Destroyer again, he was frightened and terrified. But his host is right behind him, and he can't retreat. I don't believe it. I can't hold on. I have 0-degree ice armor to protect my body, and I can also use cold air to reduce your attack speed. I don't believe I can't beat you. At this point, he could only fight, and the two of them started exchanging injuries for injuries like crazy. Frozen Rain and Frozen Nova keep hitting Kagaya's armor. And Kagaya's sword light kept falling on his armor. It's too late, but it's soon. The Zero Ice armor on Arctic Destroyer was covered with knife marks, but the armor on Kagaya was also covered with frost. And the movement speed and attack speed are both affected by the cold air. Finally, the Black Emperor armor on Kagaya couldn't hold on for the first time. At the moment when Black Emperor armor was shattered, unbinding was activated. All the freezing and slowing effects on Kagaya were removed in an instant, and her agility was increased by 60 points again. It directly broke through the basic attribute limit of 400 points for SS-level avatars, reaching an astonishing 410 points. The originally slow sword light became smooth and fast again. Arctic Destroyer was about to breathe a sigh of relief when his pupils shrank. He roared in disbelief. Impossible. How is it possible? Ah, Frozen Nova. Die. The honor of my master will be guarded by me, Princess Kaguya. Blade of Plunder. Ruin everything. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.